Right, Cricbuzz In Conversation, and I won't be exaggerating just because he's watching me when I say it. But if you had given me a list of 3 or 4 people, I was very, very eager to talk about. People who fascinated me. Not just cricketers who fascinated me, but people as well. One of those was David Warner. And so when he said, yes, I did a little skip and jump, David. So I'm overjoyed that you agreed to talk to us, because your life has been such drama playing out with ball and bat in hand and everything else. So it's been fantastic. First of all, in this lockdown, you're showing us a new side to yourself with all those TikTok videos with Sheila Ki Jawani and all those.
Yeah, look, it's my 5-year-old daughter finally wore me down. I actually heard a TikTok about 6 months ago, and I swore to people I'm not going to get on any other social media. It's just, it's not for me. And when I saw it, it was all about dancing and stuff, and I was like, I don't have the time to crop, to edit, to do all this crazy stuff that you see on there today. And it finally wore me down, and I said to her that I promised I'll do something. And it was funny because they came back to me wearing some of the Indian outfits that were given to us when we were in India. And they love the Indian culture and the way that the Indian people dance. And they said to me, can you find a song that we can dance to? And I said, look, I only know 1 or 2 songs. I know Chamak Chalo with Shah Rukh Khan. And I said, you can't dance to that, it's too fast. And I said, look, Sheila Ki Jawani is another one. I said, we can do, we can crop down some of the dance moves, and we'll find the easy part. And we found an easy part, and I said, look, let's try this, and we did it. And it came up very well. But it's very difficult to teach a 5-year-old and a 4-year-old those dance moves.
They must love you in Hyderabad for that. They call you Warner Mia or Warner Garu. They talk to you in Telugu, signs of respect. We've got a lot of love there. But I'm going to talk to you a great deal about the IPL and what it has meant to you. So where do you see this going? What happens if there is no IPL? What do you think it will mean to people? Hopefully it'll happen later in the year, but we don't yet have a cure for this dreaded virus.
Yeah, look, I think the most important thing is taking the advice of obviously our health experts and doing everything we can as people to stay safe and flatten the curve. It's very difficult to, I see it here. We went down to the local beach today to go for a swim and exercise, and they closed the beach within like an hour because there were so many people just standing around and not doing the right thing. So if they're going to open things for people and they have rules and guidelines, we need to stick by them. And unless that starts working and we start listening, it's going to be very difficult for cricket to be played, not just in Australia, but overseas, and obviously the IPL. So we need to work hard together to stay strong. And it is difficult. It is, it is boring. It is challenging. And obviously there's a lot of people who are frustrated by this, but we need to stick together, and we will all get through it. Ivy's actually wearing a Sunrisers Hyderabad shirt. That's what makes you laugh.
Get her into the frame if you want her.
Come over here. Come say hi. Come say hi.
Yeah,
that's Ivy.
Beautiful.
That's Ivy. And you want to come and say hi? Say hi. Hi. And there's Isla. Do you want to say hi? Oh, are you upset? You say hi? Say hi. Say hello.
Look at that.
Say. They're absolutely
beautiful. Even in that shot.
Yeah, you guys, I'll be 2 minutes outside, okay?
Okay.
Can you shut the door?
Okay.
Okay. No worries.
Bye.
That's the cheeky one. The middle one's the cheeky one. That's what I got to work out.
Smith Kohli. Smith Kohli. That's been the conversation, isn't it? Different kind of people, both score a lot of runs. Where do you sit on that debate?
Yeah, words to very chalk and cheese. 2 completely different people. But when it comes to cricket, they both got the mental strength, the mental capacity to score runs, and they just both love spending time in the middle. They're both. How do I put into a respectful way is that Virat's passion and drive to score runs is different to what Steve would be. Steve's going out there for a hit in the middle. That's how he sees things. He's hitting them. He's hitting them out in the middle. He's having fun. He's enjoying himself. Just does not want to get out. Virat obviously doesn't want to get out, but he knows, you know, if he spends a certain amount of time out there, he's gonna score plenty of runs and at a rapid rate. Not just at, you know, at 40. He's gonna get on top of you, and it allows the guys that are coming in, especially in the Indian cricket team. You've got a lot of players who can be flamboyant as well. You know, that's where they stabilise and they get the team. They boost the morale. If they score runs, everyone else's morale's up. If they're out cheaply, you almost sense that on the field that everyone's like, oh, okay, now we all got to step up. Like it's a very bizarre situation.
There are some players out there around the world who say, no, I must be really calm going into a contest because I want to have control over my faculties. There are some people who almost want to pick a contest. They said Steve Waugh was like that. Some people might say you're like that. Some people might say Virat Kohli is like that. When you go out onto the field, you literally just want to do a contest.
It's almost like, I can't speak for Virat obviously, but it's almost like we got this thing in us where we go, we need to prove people wrong or prove someone wrong. And if you're in that contest, and if I'm going at him, for example, you go, all right, well, you know, you're thinking, all right, I'm going to score more runs than him, or I'm going to take a quick single on him, or I'm going to, you know, you're trying to better that person in that game. And I think that's what that's where the passion comes from. You know, obviously you want to win the game, but you almost break it down to, you know, if I score more runs than Virat, or if, I know Pujara scores more runs than Steve Smith, you have these little contests, you know, and that's how you try and nail the game in a sense of, you know, all right, if we do these little things, you know, we can be ahead of the game or we can be behind the game. But that passion is definitely driven, I think, by, I know my sense is, one, to win, the will to win, and two, wanting to do better than that person in your opposition.
You sometimes almost, I don't know if it happens to you, but Steve Waugh, they talked about it with Steve Waugh, that you almost seem to want to pick up a conversation with short leg maybe, or pick up a conversation with the wicket keeper, almost have a little go at him, and then that drives you all over again. I remember Matty Hayden telling me once, he was playing a game in Bangladesh, and he said he suddenly turned around and gave the Bangladesh team a earful, and I said, what was that about? And he said, I was feeling zombie, I wasn't in the game. And it's almost that I have to do that to get back into the game. Does that happen sometimes as well?
Yeah, definitely. I know when I first started, it was like that. It was, you know, they'll say I was the attack dog. And then as soon as I walk out, everyone would be just like, straight away like this. Perfect. My chest is out. It's all done. You know, you do your work on the field. You know, you go at the person that you know is going to bite back. When you walk out there, it's 2 on 11, right? You're in a contest. And I was like, how good's that? Now, no one says anything. So you have to find other ways to get into a contest. You know, your stump mics are up all the time. You can't get into that contest. You have friendly banter, but we know deep down now that there's players that you just don't poke the bear anymore.
There's all this talk, isn't there, about the world of batsmanship. We talk about Kohli and Smith and Root and Williamson. They're all talking about Big Four. You sometimes feel like tapping them on the back and say, excuse me, there's a please. I've not done too badly myself.
I remember someone was saying to me about Matthew Hayden. Matthew Hayden used to say, us opening batters are just there to take the shine off the ball and make the job easier for 3, 4, 5 and 6. And, you know, we don't care about getting the accolades or anything like that. We go out there and bat because we love playing the game of cricket. It is very difficult to say, all right, how would you know, these guys go if they opened the batting? They'd probably be even better, and they probably wouldn't get out. You know, some guys would probably say, hey, let's just keep these guys in, and we don't get these guys to come in at 3 and 4. Like, you can only judge, you know, where people bat, and I think the hardest thing is stats portray not the be all and end all of players. I think the greatest players in the world adapt to everywhere they play. Australia, we play a lot of cricket at home. India play a lot of cricket at home. You know, what's similar to us, Australia and South Africa's wickets. India play in Bangladesh, they play in Sri Lanka, and they play in India. So there's 3 wickets that are quite similar. New Zealand and England are both quite similar. So there's this like sort of variations everywhere you go. And I judge great cricketers by scoring hundreds in all those venues in testing times and testing conditions, and that's where these guys have all done that, and they deserve all the accolades they get. And I think what people underestimate is how good of a player Jacques Kallis was. That's what playing this game, and having seen a lot of players, watched it growing up, playing, live it, I don't think that guy gets enough. That ball, his catching in slips, incredible.
Well, Kallis was batsman and bowler. I've seen someone who's right-hander and left-hander too. That's not easy. Sometimes when a left-hander bats right-handed, you can almost tell he's a left-hander trying to bat right-handed. I see you in the nets playing the pull shots, playing the cut shots, even the drives, and it's not just a mirror image. You could be right-handed. Is that something you've constantly thought about? Came easy? Did you one day just go out and bat right-handed in a T20 game?
When I did that in Bangladesh against Chris Gale, I just couldn't get underneath the ball, and the angle that he was bowling at was too difficult to hit sort of mid-wicket region. So I just said, if I change it up, it's going to change his mind to go, all right, where do I bowl? So in my mind, I just like practicing it, because you just never know. If you're facing a fast bowler and you want to switch hit a fast bowler, you got to have that sort of instinct. If it's short, to pull. I think I did it once against Malinga in an IPL game, and I end up hitting it over a short third man. They're things that you try and keep in your armour to use.
Ishant, Shami, Bumrah, one of them. Who's the one you want to play the least? And did you look at Bumrah and say, where's this tin man come from?
He's so hard to get a gauge of a rhythm. There's no rhythm. Like, you cannot get a rhythm off him. It's just, they're both the same way. It's either he runs in, and it's sharp. It's either, if it's back of a length, it's hitting you on the knee roll. It's not going over the stumps. Then there's another length. If he bowls it full, it can swing for us. It can swing late away from us. And he's got the one that actually stays and holds the line. So it's very difficult to get a cue out of his hand because of his action. It's all distorted. It's not normal whatsoever. It just works for him.
Cricket Australia has been saying that once this thing gets over, maybe 5 test matches. Like that, 5 test matches against India, and then you come here to India, play 5 test matches in an era when people are saying, yes, test cricket going, where's T20 going, 5 test matches. You like the idea?
I definitely think 5 test matches would be absolutely amazing. I think it's a great test. It's a test series. 5 test matches is challenging, very challenging. It's very tough. I remember when I played my first Ashes, and then we had 7 one-day games at the end of that. After we'd lost, I think it was 4-1. It was so tiring and draining, and that's what Test cricket's all about. I've been in India. I've had 3 Test series there. It's very, very challenging. If you spend 160 overs in the field in 45-degree heat, and you're open to batting at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, day 2, you got to get your dancing shoes on, because it's challenging. They're not moving. They're cramping. They're sore, tired. So they're the challenges that those environments bring. And having India come here and play 5 test matches, that'll be a great, great challenge. Great series.
You're probably thinking at that time, I'd much rather be walking out at 8 p.m. on that Hyderabad track with the balls coming there.
I could put my feet up after 3 hours.
The amount you talk, you've mentioned it briefly, the amount you've talked about the influence that your families had on you. Now, 3 girls, wife, the only guy at home?
Yes, I am the only guy at home, and it doesn't. There's no challenges, which is good. I think the only challenge for me is when they walk in like now, and it's almost 5 o'clock. So like you have your bath time, it's cooking, and then obviously in the mornings it's getting them ready, breakfast, and out the door for school. They're the only challenges, and now the little one's on the move a little bit. it's great though. I wouldn't change it for the world. And obviously, I've got great help with my wife. She's absolutely amazing, and it keeps me down to earth and grounded. That's for sure.
You married a triathlete. Do they call it Iron Man or Iron Woman? I don't know, whatever it is. It's tough.
Iron Woman, yeah.
It's tough either way. She's stronger than you in some ways.
I don't want to admit it, but yes, definitely. There's a lot of things that like she can run, and I can't do that. My build does not allow me to do that. But that's the best thing that I find, you know, with Candice is that we can train together, and doesn't matter what training I do or what training she does, we always try and work out a way to compete. We even compete in warm-ups. Like warming up, she'll compete. I'm like, and I'm probably the worst. I'm like, beat ya. And she hates it, frustrates her.
You know, there was a time when the bull became the reverend. Is that her? That just your outlook to life? Because suddenly the Reverend David Warner, I didn't think we would say that when you were starting out.
Yeah, look, for me, I was going through a pretty tough time in Sri Lanka. We had, I think it was a 3-game test series over there. We were getting beaten. I didn't have any answers on those wickets, and none of us did really. And I just sort of had a very negative mindset, and it reflected upon back at home as well. And it wasn't nice. And I was just like, I was quite down with the way that I played the series I played in. And my wife just said to me, look, we're going to go and speak to a life coach. And we're going to, you know, try and improve the way that you're thinking, because you're not going to go out there and score runs if you're thinking negative. And I sat down with a man called John Novak, and I sat with him, had a good 6-month stint with him. And the only way I could do it was almost to preach it. And, you know, I looked at life differently in the perspective of waking up in the morning, you know, giving yourself 3 positive affirmations to get you going for the day. And every time you put out a negativity in some way or a negative comment in some way, you've always got to reaffirm yourself with 4 positive comments that you're good about yourself. And every time someone did something at training, I'd always say, you know, look on the bright side. You know, we've got beautiful fresh air. We're living the dream. We're doing what we love. You know, little things like that. I did it for a year, and that's why they nicknamed me the Reverend.
Do you sometimes think of the legacy you want to leave behind? There have been some great Australian openers over the years, and even if you forget the Lauries and Simpsons of the days gone by, but you just look at Taylor and Slater and Hayden and Langer, and now there's one, as it turns out, so many left-handers there. You think sometimes of a legacy you want to leave behind, or you're just saying, nah, I'll have fun and then one day.
Yeah, look, I just think that if I can be that person that, you know, someone will call up to go for a beer with, or if I'm in the same country to catch up and have, you know, dinner with, I just want to be, you know, known as a good bloke off the field. I think a lot of people talk about me on the field with how I carry on, or if I, you know, the way that I have carried on in the past. You know, at the end of the day, I'm just being a competitor. I'm just trying to get the best out of myself to do the best for my team in that sense.
And then you'll meet a young kid who thinks he can only play T20 cricket, and you'll tell him, look, you can become a test player too.
Yeah, that's the hard thing. You see a lot of kids out there that just want to play the shots, and I think that's what I think we're missing with the education of kids these days. All we used to do back in the day was just try and hit the cricket ball. That's the point of the game. Hit the cricket ball. You know, everyone says technique. Yeah, technique's a big part of the game. But if you want to teach someone like Steve Smith, you want to teach someone like Chanderpaul, forget it. You can't. You can try and replicate that with 10,000 hours. You know, you can have Tiger Woods' swing, but even that bloke changed it 6-7 times in his career. You just got to go out there and hit the ball.
Pick a team that would maybe play in the IPL. So these are actually played with against. Just pick a combined India-Australia team, assume it's an IPL.
Okay. I'll pick myself and row it.
Okay.
I would have 3. I would have Virat.
Yeah.
Is this including the past players?
Anyone who's played the IPL, maybe?
Okay. I'd say 4 would have to be 4. Challenging. I'd pick Rayner there.
Yeah, okay.
Rayner would bat 4. I think 5. 5, I'd go Hardik Pandya.
Okay.
6.
You got a keeper in there. You need a keeper.
Yeah, I do need a keeper. I'd have Dhoni as keeper. No disrespect, Gilly.
Also, Gilly came to the IPL very late in his career. He had a couple of great innings, but he came to the IPL very late in his career.
Yeah, he did. Who else would I?
Maxwell, you think?
Maxwell, yeah, Maxwell would be. I reckon Maxwell would be 6, Dhoni 7, and then if you've got your bowlers, Mitchell Starks, he's a given. Boomerang. And I'd go for. I think this might be a bit controversial, but I think Ashish Nehra. I think up front, I think he's a quality bowler.
You have no idea what you've just said because Ashish Nehra will be talking about it for the next 2 years.
I know he would. I've got to give him some love. I've got to give him some love. And spinner.
Sanpat, Chahal, Kuldeep, Ashwin. Ryan.
Yeah. It's very difficult because I actually thought when he took a lot of wickets, if we're playing at Delhi, I'm picking Amit Mishra.
Okay.
Interesting. I think if I'm going back a couple of years, he was unplayable. He was very challenging. And I think today, if you're picking someone, you're picking on different grounds. So you'd rotate Chahal and obviously Kuldeep.
There you are. You've got a good side. You might have looked at Warney, but he only had a couple of seasons, didn't he? Right at the top, he was coming back at the end. So you run into Warney, so I dropped you.
Well, he was captain at the time, so he got to choose when he wanted to bowl. So how do we know he bowled at the easy times?
David, thank you very much. I've enjoyed doing this, seeing a side to you that's very chatty. That's a very deep love of the game. That was really fantastic. Love to the family, and look forward to seeing you in Hyderabad one day.
No problem at all, Harsha. I love talking cricket. I could talk it all day.
Pleasure. Thanks a lot, David. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. See ya. Bye.